You were taught to chase money like weather, watch the forecasts, sprint when the sun breaks through. Yet you've felt the cold, raises that vanish into rent, windfalls that melt into upgrades. You work harder, but the room never holds heat. You tell yourself it's timing or luck. However, the pattern persists. Therefore, it's something else. You see people with less talent glide while you grind. On the other hand, you know intelligence alone can't explain it, because you're not stupid, and still the numbers leak. There's a principle at work, but it isn't taught. Not in school, not at home, not in the offices where everyone copies everyone else's panic. You already obey it in other parts of your life. How you treat time, how you protect attention, how silence compounds clarity. Yet with money, you break it. You treat money as motion, not gravity, as a stream, not a field. You think the game is accumulation when it's actually arrangement. The contrarian truth is this: wealth isn't about how much you earn, but how your money behaves after it meets you. It either becomes an employee that works without you, or a dependent that feeds on you. Most people adopt dependents. Millionaires hire employees. Although the mechanics are public, the pattern hides in plain sight, camouflaged by culture, slogans, and dopamine. You feel it every payday, the relief that turns into tightness. You won the battle, but lost position. What if the secret isn't a tactic or mindset, but a design rule? What if you could flip one switch and the room finally kept its heat? The question is not how do you make more, but how do you make money hold its shape without you holding it? You live inside a system that rewards motion, not mastery. Every headline, every app, every sale countdown whispers the same idea. Money moves, so you must move with it. But what if that movement is the illusion itself? You chase, you earn, you spend, and the loop resets. Those who quietly win, who glide through volatility, play a different rhythm. They don't chase flow, they engineer gravity. The modern economy runs on distraction disguised as opportunity. Every market crash is rebranded as a once-in-a-lifetime window. But beneath the chaos lies order. Wealth doesn't disappear, it transfers. From the impatient to the patient. From the emotional to the structured. From those who react to those who design. When you treat money as energy that must be directed, not merely earned, you begin to see the architecture. Millionaires position money so time becomes irrelevant. While others trade hours for dollars, they trade structure for freedom. The illusion of progress is everywhere. You get a raise, upgrade your car, move to a bigger home. It feels like success, yet the gravitational pull remains. Expenses expand to meet income. Comfort disguises stagnation. The room feels warmer, but the window is still open. In quiet corners of finance, a different language exists. Words like yield, leverage, and compounding are not technical, they're psychological. They reshape your relationship to time. Most people think in income, the wealthy think in systems. Income is a moment, a system is a loop. Imagine money as a network of mirrors. Each dollar that bounces back creates light, interest, dividends, appreciation. Each dollar that escapes disappears into shadow. Over years, the difference becomes enormous. This isn't about being cheap. It's about control. Control isn't withholding pleasure. It's choosing when and why to experience it. When spending dictates earning, you're owned. When earning dictates spending, you're free. Humans crave immediate feedback. Buying gives it instantly. Investing delays it, sometimes painfully. The brain rewards short loops and resists long ones. Yet wealth lives in long loops. The simple money principle is built on resisting the instinct for closure. Still, you may wonder, how did they learn it? Many didn't. They absorbed it by environment. When ownership and patience are normalized, you internalize a truth. Money isn't for spending, it's for multiplying. Contrast that with common conditioning. Save what's left, work harder, hope inflation spares you. Logical, but deadly. The harder you work, the more the system expands around your output. Prices rise, expectations inflate. You can't outwork a system designed to absorb your effort. The wealthy don't fight the system, they align with its geometry. They find leverage points where time and capital intersect. Assets that compound while they sleep. Structures that keep earning after their attention moves on. Therefore, the real divide isn't intelligence or opportunity, it's awareness. Awareness that the world runs on delayed feedback loops, and that life must be built with them, not against them. The principle is simple. Make money behave like an employee, not a child. Train it to report back. Reinforce the loop until compounding takes over. Most people live in permanent reset mode, each month starting at zero. Their income evaporates into maintenance. They confuse comfort with progress, yet real success prefers silence. It compounds invisibly, returning not in objects but in options. The paradox is that the principle is invisible because it's not exciting. It's discipline without drama, leverage without noise, architecture, not adrenaline. It's what turns time from enemy into ally. You begin to sense it now. It was never about more, it was about making money behave differently. But why does almost nobody do it? The answer lies not in economics, but in psychology. You've been taught that money follows intelligence. Yet intelligence without structure is chaos. The world doesn't reward the smartest, it rewards those who design systems around their flaws. That's the quiet truth. The simple money principle is not numerical, it's behavioral. It's the art of controlling your default reaction to uncertainty. Every purchase, every hesitation mirrors how you handle fear. Every human trades two currencies, money and attention. Most lose both. The poor in wealth are also poor in focus. Their minds fragmented by notifications, opinions, urgency. Attention leaks, money follows. You can't build gravity in a storm. The wealthy design stillness. They rely on systems that protect them from themselves. Make the right decision automatic and the wrong one impossible. That's the invisible design principle. A billionaire's portfolio isn't luck, it's automation, compounding reinvestments, long-term positioning, systems that reward consistency, not impulse. It looks like magic, but it's just mechanics. Most people don't want this control because control feels dull. It denies the rush of spontaneity. They mistake chaos for autonomy, but the price of that chaos is their financial life. You live in a dopamine economy, constant alerts, constant closure. The brain demands instant loops, but wealth grows in loops that take years. You are biologically wired against patience. Millionaires win by overriding biology, by letting systems compound while emotion burns out. Delay alone isn't enough. Energy leaks through ego, through showing off, through comparison. You think you want money, but you want what you believe it means. The system knows this. It sells you identity in exchange for freedom. Capitalism isn't financial, it's psychological. It trades perception for reality. Every ad, every trend, every influencer reflects who you think you are. And each reflection costs you something. Capitalism isn't financial, it's psychological. It trades perception for reality. Every ad, every trend, every influencer reflects who you think you are. And each reflection costs you something. The wealthy understand the compounding of identity, not just money. Habits, relationships, reputation, everything compounds. Small misalignments grow into disasters. Complexity multiplies error. Simplicity multiplies truth. Their silent rule: never let short-term emotion design long-term structure. Imagine two people earning the same income. One directs each paycheck toward ownership, the other toward consumption. 10 years later, one has gravity, the other dependency. Same income, opposite outcomes. The wealthy don't climb ladders. They build them beneath themselves. They use the same time, rearranged, the same energy, redirected. Their calm comes from perspective. They see money as narrative, not necessity. Most live inside someone else's story: scarcity, hustle, insecurity dressed as ambition. The wealthy write their own. When the market burns, they don't flinch. They buy in silence. This detachment isn't cold, it's clarity. The ability to see storms without entering them. The economy is collective emotion translated into numbers. When you grasp that, you stop reacting to waves and start studying tides. The modern system no longer steals your money. It steals your attention. Every scroll feeds it. The algorithm learns your fears and feeds your impulses. It doesn't need you broke, just predictable. Predictable people are profitable. Millionaires understand this. They design friction around weakness. Automatic transfers, locked accounts, they remove the decision points where emotion might hijack structure. You can't trust willpower, but you can trust a system built in calm. The principle isn't spend less, it's design so your future self can't fail. Build the loop so success becomes inevitable. You might resist this. Your ego hates inevitability. It wants control, even if it leads to failure. But inevitability, once aligned, is the purest freedom. The system works because you no longer interfere. Here's the dark symmetry, the same mechanism that enslaves can liberate. The global economy is a network of loops. Your habits feed it. Every impulsive act compounds upward. For someone else, you're already in a system. The question is, whose? Wealth isn't possession, it's pattern. And patterns can be reprogrammed. The principle isn't hidden, it's inverted. Millionaires don't make more. They make money make itself. This was never about finance. It's about sovereignty, about whether your life is built from reaction or intention. But to see the truth, you must face collapse, the moment illusion breaks. The fall before awakening. There comes a moment when the illusion fractures. You feel it as fatigue, not of body, but of mind. The chase, the upgrades, the endless zeros. None deliver peace. You finally see what the wealthy learned long before. Chasing without structure is a treadmill disguised as a road. You notice it everywhere. The colleague who earns more, but feels poorer. The friend who wins big then loses faster. The influencer preaching abundance while drowning in debt. Knowledge doesn't create freedom. Design does. And then it hits you. You've been building someone else's structure. Every hour traded, every impulse followed. Bricks in a system that doesn't belong to you. The economy rewards obedience, disguised as ambition. But the moment you see the blueprint, the current weakens. Awareness breaks the spell. You start asking forbidden questions. Why does progress demand exhaustion? Why do profits rise as control declines? You see the shadow beneath the light. The design works by keeping you reactive. When you're tired, you spend. When you're scared, you comply. When you're distracted, you forget. The machine doesn't steal freedom. It trades it for convenience. Yet, somewhere in that noise, a flicker of clarity appears. The realization isn't rebellion. It's awakening. The same mechanics that enslave can liberate. The loops, the compounding, they're neutral. Alignment decides everything. The fall isn't losing wealth, it's losing illusion. You bury the fantasy that more will fix it. Beneath that silence, awareness remains. From that awareness, you rebuild. Quietly. You remove noise. You design systems that serve you, not algorithms. You define enough before someone sells you more. You delay gratification, not as punishment, but as design. You realize wealth isn't stored in banks, it's stored in behavior. You stop chasing opportunity. You start designing inevitability. Each dollar now carries instruction. Over time, the world that once consumed you begins to orbit your calm. Nothing external changes, yet everything feels different. You no longer react to the game. You write your own rules. The markets still rise and fall. The noise still screams. But you see through it. You've crossed the line between motion and mastery. You measure wealth not in possessions, but in peace. In time that's truly yours. In the ability to say no. That is the simple money principle. The one millionaires use. The one almost nobody knows. Not because it's hidden, but because it's too simple to sell. And as the realization settles, one question lingers. If wealth is a system that can be designed, what else in your life could be redesigned too? Silence follows, then calm, the kind that arrives when illusion ends and gravity finally holds. You've crossed the line between motion and mastery. You measure wealth not in possessions, but in peace. In time that's truly yours. In the ability to say no. That is the simple money principle. The one millionaires use. The one almost nobody knows, not because it's hidden, but because it's too simple to sell. And as the realization settles, one question lingers. If wealth is a system that can be designed, what else in your life could be redesigned too? Silence follows, then calm, the kind that arrives when illusion ends and gravity finally holds.